You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah. We are live streaming on Business Talk Radio and social media. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I am a certified life and career yoga and meditation teacher / coach. Let me bring on my co-host today, Aminah. Welcome.
Thanks. How are you? You look fabulous.
Thank you. It's a Friday, so, I figured sitting here at this desk all day, just put on a jacket and nobody knows what else I'm wearing. You know what I mean? So.
See, and I thought it was a sparkly blouse.
It's a jacket. Jacket and a dress, no shoes.
It looks great.
So thank you. You look great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. We're in California. Everybody's like, oh, what's the weather? It's like, really? 70 and sunny?
Oh, so nice. It's so nice. But that's a big reason to live out there too, right?
Part of it's because I was born here, but yes, it is a good reason. A lot of people come for that. We have literally every season you'd want. I grew up in Southern California in the desert, and it was 120. So we played tennis and sports at 6 in the morning, and we were done by 10. I did really well in Death Valley when I visited there, because I've been there a couple of times. But literally, you go an hour this way and you're at the beach, and you go an hour that way and you're in Disneyland, and you go an hour this way.
A plethora of things to do. I love it.
Yes. You were never, ever stuck with doing the same thing, because I love the mountains. We have beautiful Big Bear Mountains.
And you brought us a guest who's also from California. Tell us about Jill Stein.
Yeah, so Jill and I've had, of course, done some work together. What I really am looking forward to is something I'm barely scratching the surface of. So I don't know about everybody else, but there's only so much I can learn in a lifetime, and I read like crazy, and I meet the most amazing people. And Jill and I met in one of these forums, and she's gonna really elaborate on what she does. But for my tiny little pedestrian knowledge of what the plethora of what she does is manifestation, positive living. She's just got a really great coach with her, and they do this wonderful work of getting people just out of their stuck. And she's going to elaborate on a whole lot more.
Well, that's fantastic. So many really cool people who've got this at the core. Everyone has this positive energy and spirit, and that's what I love.
Well, you know what? You surround yourself with people that, do we struggle? Do we share those struggles? But we're all positive people, knowing that the struggle is part of the journey. If things came easy, I have met people who are musicians or artists or whatever, and they breathe it, and it's just like, whatever. I find I have a tough time explaining what I do, because I was born this way. And it's like asking me, what's it like to be a white girl? I don't know.
Right, it's the only thing you know.
What is it like to be blonde? I don't know. I was born this way. So I have struggled with surrounding myself with professionals who can give me that vocabulary, not just psychics, but professional business people who have helped me in the world you and I exist in. We can't help anybody if nobody knows we exist.
That's right. We're spreading the word.
Yes.
So let's bring Jill Stein on to share her word. Hi, Jill. Welcome.
Yay. Hi. I love the wood behind you, Jill. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It gives so much life to that space, and I'm sure that's what you're going for. So do a better job, please, than I did, and tell us what is your tagline? What is your stick?
Oh my gosh, my shtick. So my shtick right now is, so Tiffany Kiefer and I, who I think you're going to have on here in a few weeks, we have Rise Up and Shine, and we're law of attraction manifestation coaches. We do so many amazing things within that. And we have a year-long program called Master Manifesting Academy, and we take people through just a step at a time, really creating a life that they deserve and what they've been looking for. And like you said, Aminah, getting them out of stuck. So we love what we do. We have so much fun doing it together. And we're both very intuitive. Tiffany is so amazing. In fact, earlier today, the last week of the month is when we have our readings class with our group, and they all get on, and we each do a reading for each of them. And it's so powerful and amazing. She's so powerful. And you know, my shtick from the psychic end of things is I'm a prenatal medium. So that is just a huge, huge passion of mine as well.
And are we going to explain now, or are you going to leave me hanging? And
I want to know, so what is that?
Does everybody wanting to know what that is?
You can drop that one and go,
yes.
okay.
We're clapping.
Woohoo! So prenatal mediumship, what I do is it's prenatal soul communication. So I connect families with the incoming souls of babies that are going to be coming into their world, whether it's a parent that's expecting, somebody that's adopting, even grandparents and family members. And it's so amazing because not only can I give them messages from the souls that are going to come and be a part of their family, but I can teach them to open themselves up to communication as well. And we talk about everything from life purpose and desires. And also, I mean, I've also gotten, I'd like my nursery to be neat and clean, please. I mean, it's just so fun and so magical to get to open up that line of communications. And we all think that babies, you know, they're brand new and they don't have any memories yet and they don't really know anything. And that's just so not true. When a baby is first in this world, they have a plethora of knowledge that hasn't faded yet. You can even ask a very young child, do you remember when you were big? And sometimes they'll give you some really interesting answers. So I just love that. I was a hospice worker. That's what led to this, because I was helping people at that end of that gate, the exiting gate. And now I get to help people at the entrance gate into this world, which is so fun and magical.
How exciting.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I'm just wondering, have you ever been able to get any insights about, you know, what from the souls, what it's like to be in the womb? Like, wouldn't it be cool to know that?
It's dark.
Squishy.
It's really dark.
It's very dark and squishy.
And squishy. It's depending on
like
how
being
big
in a
you are.
body.
I was a really big baby. I'll tell you, I was crowded.
Yeah, being in a body is dark and squishy for a soul, but yeah, being in the womb is even more so. But you know what? We don't stay in the womb the whole time that, you know, from conception. We're in, we're out, we're checking things out. You know, that is an in and out situation until birth. So, and even after birth sometime, which is not a whole nother subject. But yeah, it's interesting. I've never really, it's fun that you bring that up. Now I kind of want to ask, you know, hey, being in there. Usually there's more important things to talk about, it seems like. They always have so much to say. But I did have somebody, though, say, this is going to be a fast, easy labor. This is not my first rodeo. And I was so happy to share that information because the mom was a first-time mom. And she was very nervous about the labor. And just having that suggestion alone, I'm sure, made things run nice and smoothly for her. So yeah, amazing.
Well, and that runs right into what you do with manifestation. Please take that thought all the way through of what if you guys don't understand, Jill's going to explain, but by having the attitude of where you're going, like my kids and I used to play this game. And it was like every time we were walking down the street and we're walking really far and we got to go through 4 lights or something like that, like, yeah, go ahead. Make it green. And I had one kid that could do it all the time, but it was timing also. We learned to walk faster and slower. So it's a game. I'm giving that example. So Jill, to set you up for, the doors are movable. This is one thing I talk about with your pets. This is what I can tell you right now in this moment with the decisions you have already made or are in them saying, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. This is what it is. But because the world, it has free will and we have a way to manifest the change, we can do it better. We can also do it worse. So tell us what that is like for a baby.
Oh my goodness. So, well, we can tie it into the baby, but we can tie it into really anybody. So, but the wonderful thing about a baby is a baby hasn't been told you can't over and over and over again yet. So there's this, when you're a young person, you just have this world of possibility. And we make decisions when we're young, right? We make the decision, I'm going to do this. It's just going to happen. And we go out and make it happen. In fact, I don't know who knows who Jason Momoa is. I think he was Aquaman. Yes. And when he was young, he is married to, who is he married to? Jada. Is it Jada? No, that's Will Smith. Anyways, he's married to an amazingly gorgeous woman that you would all know if you looked it up. And she's older than him. And when he was young, I think he was about 8, he saw her on the TV and he said, I'm going to marry her. And he did. When he got older, he did. It's so cool. So along those lines, yeah. So when we're young, we just don't have this filter. We don't have all these people that have told us, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. So what we try to instill in people and try to bring back to people is that belief that nothing can stand in your way. And we teach them how to take the negativity and the focus on what's not going right away. Because when you can take that out of the equation and you can bring in what is going right and focusing on what you want, that is how you attract it to you. And it's a roller coaster, right? Because we've been doing this our entire lives. We've been focusing on what's not going right or being worried. Worry it just brings all that negative stuff. And with law of attraction, the more you worry about what you don't want, the more you bring it into your world. So and what's interesting, and this is a concept that actually came from a parenting coach that I work with. She's absolutely amazing, but I want to make sure I get this right. But in her parenting world, Catherine Sellery talks about going from unconsciously unskilled to consciously unskilled. So you realize there's a problem. Okay, there's something going on here that we need to fix. Then you go from consciously skilled, which now we're getting there because we know what we're doing and we know how to do it. But the gold is when you're unconsciously skilled and things start to come naturally. And that's what it's like with law of attraction and manifestation. We take people from just focusing, not doing what they need to do to bring what they want into their lives and focusing on the bad stuff to automatically, naturally going to the good places. And that's what brings what you want in your life. And also that's what makes a happier life because it brings peace and it brings calmness. And that's where we need to be to really just be blessed with all there is to offer for us here while we're here.
Well, and I like the focus that it provides us. You know, we're not flailing. We're not the trout on the end of the fish hook, if I can use that metaphor that I just made up, because it does give us. I like that it gives you a goal, gives you something to work for, especially on the hard days. And we all know when you're starting something, and Dr. Jacalyn, when you decided to start this channel or get your, PhD or, any of our big ticket items and that kind of stuff, what was all the decisions you had to make? Or, did you jump in with both feet and hit cement because it was a puddle, not a pool? Then as long as you didn't break your leg, or you did, you learned and you either did it better or you keep doing it. And the wonderful thing, Jill, that I have seen you guys do is get us out of that cycle. Mm-hmm. Get us out of that, jump off that running train. So.
Absolutely.
Like we need to go to break.
I love this discussion. We're going to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors, but stay with us here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah and our guest, Jill Stein.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our ministry alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Ladies and gentlemen, and here it is, the most listened to radio on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back. We're glad to have you here on this Friday. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah and our guest, Jill Stein. We'd love to hear from you. We love when you get engaged on social media. And we'd also like you to pick up your phone and call us at 609-961-1699. Over to you, Aminah.
Yeah, if you haven't tried manifestation, I know I struggle with it. I'm a positive person, so in the beginning, I thought, oh, this is a piece of cake. Then I came to some of your workshops and went, yeah, maybe it's not. And that's the insight I want people to get, is the depth of where you're going, and it's not just have a positive attitude. Everything is roses and cherries and sun blossoms and puppy dogs and kitties for me. Because I know when I have a tough day, mine is to go steal a cat. I don't care which one, but usually my youngest daughter's cat with us, and she and I built a great relationship, and it took work, and I think I appreciate it more. And that's my point with you, is when we struggle a little, Dr. Jacalyn, I can't imagine you just threw up the software and hired the first guy, or didn't fire the first guy after you and then hired the next one and the girl, and and all that kind of stuff. With our struggles, we grow. I personally feel like I grow more because they're either embezzled into my head, and just ingrained. But Jill, do you have any techniques that you want to share that we can get past those, what some will see as failures, I see as challenges, because I don't do it again usually.
And it can also be seen as an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Depending on how you look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like to attack life with a bring it on attitude. It seems like sometimes when we're deepest in the struggle, we can either stay there or we can realize this is the moments of life that we came here for. We're all here to learn. We're all here to learn for ourselves, and we're all here to learn for the collective. So when we're in the thick of it and a lot is going on, there's two things we can remember. Is this is what it's all about. We're learning, we're overcoming, we're learning how to be strong. We're probably learning something that is going to make us better equipped to handle something that's coming down the road for us. As well as when we're going through a really intense struggle, when there's a lot of resistance, a lot of times that's a sign that we're just at the peak. We're just about to hit something big. And so many people will give up right when they're just about to explode. And Tiffany and I both come from a business background. We help a lot of people in their businesses. And we've just found this to be true time and time again. When there's a lot of resistance coming up, something big is coming right down the road. And I think, Aminah, you asked for a tool. And one of the biggest tools that we offer people is take responsibility for what is happening in your life. Because as soon as you can stop blaming not only other people, but situations, as soon as you can stop putting what's going on in your life out here, my life is a result of this. My life is a result of where I came from. My life is a result of somebody that did this thing to me. As soon as you can say, nope, I'm in control. This is my deal. I can bring into my world whatever I want. That's the first step. And then we go through the lessons of, okay, how to actually make that happen.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. At this point, we have a lot of hindsight and not to imply we're old. We're just getting riper by the day, more beautiful. But it's easier than when we're teenagers or we're little kids and it's catastrophic and all that. What I can look back on now, today, to say, but that made me. That made me stronger. That made me more resilient. That made me understand that was not my path. Where I am today, I don't think I could have dreamed it. I really don't think I could have dreamed it up. And that's the fun part, because I'm in a magical place where I get to actually have pets and not have to pick up anybody and feed anybody, and and I get to visit all your pets. And
thank you for that, by the way.
It's just a pure joy, and that's what I want to move into is. I don't remember everybody's readings and that kind of stuff, but I think, Jill, what we talked about was you're about ready to move and that kind of stuff. And there was some some difficulties with that. So if you could share with us what we worked on, because I don't remember all the details past the move.
Oh, it was just magical. So we have found ourselves in a situation. We actually, at this moment in time, have 13 feline souls living in our house. And
because 12 just wasn't enough.
Oh my gosh. So we had 2 and we lost one. We lost the sister and begged her to come back to us. And when she did, she brought a bunch of other ones with her. So we have had this mama kitty in our neighborhood, a wild mama kitty, for a couple of years. And we have done everything. We've been trying to catch her to get her fixed. She escaped from her trap. We tried to give her some kitty drugs. They just didn't knock her out enough. So we're just about to move, and it's getting to be critical now. And she was pregnant when I reached out to Aminah, and we had a wonderful talk with her because she just had no idea that she didn't have to just keep having kittens. That's just what she thought she was supposed to do. So our session was so amazing, Aminah, because we talked to her. She gave you information about what was going on. She had moved into our guest room. And we really want to bring her with us on our move. But she needs to, at that point, we needed to have her give birth to this final round of kittens. And she needs to get fixed and she needs to be calm and trusting. And things just got so much easier after we talked to her. And she did. She had her kittens. She's in the nursery. Yeah. She's in our guest room. And they're about little over 2 weeks old right now. They just opened their eyes a couple days ago. And we're finding them their wonderful homes. And I think Mama Kitty's feeling like she's going to be on board for this move. We're going to see what happens. I'm sure that I'm going to be having another session with you, Aminah, so that we can talk to her once she gets fixed about, does she want to make the move or does she maybe just want to be back out as a wild kitty in the neighborhood? But at least she won't be having to have any more kittens because she's just done with that. She's done such an amazing job. But the peace of mind and I worry. I know I just said you're not supposed to worry, but I worry about the animals all the time. I obsess if they're not in at night, and it's not just about their safety that I worry about. I completely anthropomorphize the whole situation. And I worry about, well, what if they want this, but I'm giving them this? I mean, I'm always concerned that I'm giving them exactly what they want so that they're happy and living the best kitty lives they can. And just getting to talk to you, oh my gosh, it just helps so much. It's so wonderful. Thank you.
Well, I hope I took some, and that's what I hope is that when we work with people, the same for you and Tiffany and myself and so many other people that I've yet to even have on the program. Wait, Dr. Jacalyn, we have so much more to come. Of just the most extraordinary stories of real life of saying, when we just have each other's back, sometimes just knowing the burden is carried and supported with somebody else is enough. And it's a magical conversation with pets and animals that it just never occurred to them or the person, wait a minute, I could do that differently and be really happy and that kind of stuff. If I had one tip, I'm going to lecture everybody right down to the whole is talk to your pets. Because they learn the timbre of your voice, they learn the energy, and that's why you're so successful with Stray Mama, because she feels your love, she feels your laser focus about, do I have the right food? Do I have this? It's not angry, abusive. I have literally seen people who have pets that are mentally ill, clinically mentally ill. But their pets are completely devoted because that's their normal, because they're not being abused and they're being fed and they're being cared for. And it doesn't matter if your hands are a little shaky or you are missing a leg or you have hair that day and not hair. They don't care. They don't care. They understand the smell of cancer. They understand the smell of many, many, many things. So if they start pestering you, I had one girl, her dog kept trying to pull her on the ground because she fainted. And she got all ripped up by the hit in the ground. She was outside on a sidewalk, on an asphalt sidewalk. So listen to them, and that's what we did, Jill. You told me your side, Kitty told me her side, and now we have consensus of, hey, I can do this. And get her fixed as soon as you can to block those hormones. And the sooner she comes down from them, the vet will tell you the same thing. As soon as she comes down from them, her whole life changes because you've got the mind focused on it. Now her whole life will change into, oh, maybe I do want to go with you. Because maybe today she says, oh, no, maybe not. Mm-hmm. But then she has all those hormones removed. And she's like, yeah, I'll lay around your house and you feed me. Sure.
I'm making the trip. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We need to take another commercial break and hear from our additional sponsors. So stay with us here. We're having a great discussion. We'll be right back on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, presents Pet Psychic Aminah. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
isn't this a fun way to spend a Friday afternoon with you lovely ladies?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So good to see you. So we're live streaming on Business Talk Radio and social media, and we haven't heard from anybody. And I know you're out there because I'm watching on my different devices. Put something in the comment just to let us know what's going on with you, what's going on with your pets, how you're doing. Maybe you're in the process of moving. We just love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And you know what? I want to encourage everybody to keep tuning in, and we're going to keep growing. We have a lot more guests coming through March. I want to talk about March 5th is fast approaching, like next week. And I am going to do something I haven't done in years and years and years, and that is talk about my origin story. How I got started. As I said, it's really hard sometimes for me to explain if you can learn this and that type of stuff because I was born this way, hearing animals, etc. And I'll explain in more detail. What we're also coming up on is in, April, I think. No, hopefully May. I am going to offer to answer people's pet questions. It'll be only one person because we're hoping to still have guests. And of course, Jill, I want you to let me know if there's somebody you think that would be a great fit. I will extend it out. Where I've started, and I think Dr. Jacalyn and I have explained maybe this to you, is people that really moved me forward or moved me in some way, that it was business or personal, or I love our trajectory in where we're taking our businesses and our lives. And I think people will really benefit from this. And the same with you, Jill. We really want to get the message out that manifestation really works. So when somebody says, oh, that's a lot of hooey and positive thinking or manifestation or whatever you want to call it, that you just have to work really hard. You have to earn everything you get. Any of those, what do you say to anybody who comes in that way?
I would say it's not hard work, but you have to do the work because you have to change yourself. And that means practice, because practice just makes perfect. And this is no exception. And it doesn't have to take a long time, but you do have to train yourself to change the way you think. And the great thing is it's fun. It's really fun work. I mean, learning how to manifest what you want, it's all about learning how to enjoy your life minute by minute. And there's nothing greater. And we learn to act as if, and we learn how to fantasize and how to create what we want. And as we learn and we do the work, not the hard work, but the fun work, we realize how quick we can bring what we want into our lives. And then we also learn how it doesn't need to feel like this. Ugh. I have to sit down and I have to write down what I want 100 times a day, and I have to focus on it constantly, and then it's going to come to me. And there's a misconception out there that that's what manifestation is all about. And it's just not. Because when you're sitting and you're writing something down 100 times that you don't have yet, what are you doing?
Manifesting that you don't have it.
You're thinking about the fact that you don't have it. And you're manifesting more of not having it. Exactly. So what's so crazy is that when you decide I'm going to have something, and then you just let it go, the universe starts working its magic to bring it to you. And I can't tell you how many times over the last few years that I have done that. I've said, okay, this is what I want. And then you just keep living your joy, and you just keep moving forward. And then you find, oh my gosh, here it is all of a sudden. And it's been everything from, I have to be really careful about what I ask for these days. Because I said to Jim not too long ago, oh, I think I'd really like some chaise lounges. And then about 2 days later, the neighbor said, oh, we've got a couple of these extra chaise lounges. They're brand new. They're wonderful. Do you guys want them? We don't want them anymore. I mean, things like that are happening. And sometimes it's happening within the hour. Yeah. Things are just, I'm throwing things out there and they're coming. Tiffany and I have both been given cars over the last year. I think they total 3 cars at this point between the two of us. And 3 years ago, I sat at a conference just kind of getting out of the event planning world and trying to decide what I was going to do next in my life. And I sat in this room of 500 other amazing women listening to a coach talk about how to be a coach and how to grow a business. And at this point, I was a wedding fair producer. I had been a DJ, a wedding planner, a conference planner. And I knew I liked speaking and I knew I liked helping people, but it wasn't really in my realm of thought yet that of being a coach. And I sat there and I decided. And I put it out there to the universe. And I didn't focus on the fact that I didn't know enough. I didn't focus on the fact that I didn't have the tools yet. I just said, no, this is me. This is the next thing I'm going to do. And I started acting as if, and 3 years later, I have 2 thriving coaching businesses. And now I actually work with the woman that I watched on stage. I'm one of her business coaches. And, it just comes and it's just magic. And that's why I really encourage you, don't worry about the work it's going to take. Just do the work on yourself. And it makes life wonderful because you can start bringing what you want to you and you can start living happy day to day.
Jill, that's so exciting. For people who are watching who don't know what Manifestation 101 is, can you just break it down into basics?
When I'm asked that question, I always think, okay, what are the basic? And I do. So for people that don't really know what manifestation is, it's about, I kind of just said it in a nutshell. It's about not focusing on what you don't have and focusing on what you want and what can be. And if you kind of put it in a nutshell, to be successful in manifestation, you have to be grateful. This is a giant key because as things come to you, there has to be that gratitude behind it. You have to notice. If things start coming to you and you don't notice and you're not grateful, they're not going to keep coming to you. And you have to take inspired action. Because so often somebody says, I've been manifesting, I've been writing things down and I've been dreaming and I've been thinking about it and it's not happening. But how many times did you get a little idea in your head? Ooh, maybe you should do this. Ooh, maybe you should do that. Those aren't just fleeting thoughts. Those are downloads. And if you don't take that download and run with it, the universe is going to go to the next person and give them the download. And Tiffany and I were just talking about this yesterday. And that's what inspired action is. Taking that fear out of the equation of, oh no, I can't do that because I'm too shy, or I might not succeed, or maybe it's not what I'm supposed to do. If you can start working on taking that out of the equation, because you can't manifest what you want in your life if you don't take the inspired action that you're given.
I love, Jacalyn, the ticker tape. I was thinking, where's
inspired action?
Everybody knows I have terrible hands, and it's just like, I need those words. Where are those words? And then so I manifested it so loud that you typed it up.
Yes, it's coming through.
Secretary. Hey, Jill, are we doing good?
You guys are doing so good. Yeah.
Because I'm looking around going, like, how do I do this off camera where you don't see I'm writing that down? And then this comes across, and it's really, for visual learners like me, that's really a clue, a big memory thing, is to see it and put emotions, and also being an empath. I can feel what I want. And some people say, why are you doing that? No. Because I want to. No, that doesn't work. But that's amazing. That's amazing.
And Aminah, you just nailed it on the head. You nailed the third thing on the head, which is the feeling and the passion behind it. Because you can say what you want and you can be clear about what you want and you can even take inspired action. But if you're not excited, if you're not vibrating on that high level around what you want, it's not going to come to you. There has to be a feeling behind it.
And positive.
Positive feelings.
Yeah. Because I've seen a
negative.
lot of people say, I'm getting a car, and they have 900 pounds of wrinkles here, and they're sweating profusely, and they haven't showered in 9 days because they're waiting for the car.
Oh my gosh.
You don't understand this positive part, right?
Yeah, or they see the car go by.
You have to water it.
Right. How'd I do here on the banner? Gratitude, inspired action, feeling, and the passion behind it.
Yeah. Positive feeling, like Aminah said, because if you see the car go by and you have jealousy or anger towards the person that has it, that's never going to get you what you want. There has to be, oh yeah, look, they have that too. I'm getting that.
Right. Oh, we could be sisters from another mother. Look at camaraderie. Look at team spirit. I think the reason, one of hundreds of reasons why women like the three of us and so many others that I have had, the guys are okay too. But speaking of women right now is because we all see, Dr. Jacalyn, I love what you do. You saw that you liked what I did. I invited Jill because it's this team effort of support that moves all of us forward, because I truly believe I put out love. Even when you're having a bad day and aren't nice to me, not either of you, but somebody, then you get back even more love.
Beautiful. So well said. Thank you. That's why you're so good at what you do. We're going to take our last commercial break. Stick around because we've got some more exciting tips, right? And some more exciting information to share. We'll be right back.
Networking sucks and people suck at it, but nothing gives me more life than walking around and talking to people in an audience and really being able to identify, okay, I see where you're having trouble, let's work on fixing it. How do you help them? How do you provide value? My goal is to give them those tools to be able to go out and tackle that fear. Anywhere there's coffee is where I'll be. So I bring candy a lot to my speaking engagements. Like, of course that makes sense. I'm a little unconventional.
Ashley was very knowledgeable.
Very entertaining.
I learned a few new things, and to me that's the key.
What do you want them to say? How do you want to be perceived? You're going to get the most direct, tactical tips and practical takeaways when it comes to networking. These two here are super important. You'll remember once the conversation starts.
I love the tips that she gave out. I hate networking with a passion, so I feel like I can get through a meeting or event and not feel so uncomfortable.
When you're going to a presentation, you want to be educated. You also want to be entertained.
She was really fun and really personable, and everything she was saying was just very relatable.
She's got a lot of great ideas.
That will make you stand out so fast.
She comes across as someone that likes what they do and just doesn't try to sell you something.
Activity breeds results. If you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere.
It just made me want to start networking, which I never thought I'd say before.
A networking strategy that works for you.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. We are here with the pet psychic of the world, Aminah, the one and only, joining us from California with her guest and friend, Jill Stein. It's a pleasure having you here today.
I just got a whoop whoop with her hands.
Okay, woo-hoo. We love the Aminah.
Not the only pet psychic in the world, luckily, but I know I had a mentor and that type of stuff. Everybody needs one. I think Jill would concur, and that's what I think you do. Is Tiffany and you cheer us on the good days and the bad days, and just seeing it from a different perspective. That was the great part about doing it in groups and that kind of stuff. Now, have you switched to Zoom, the world of Zoom, to be able to keep the groups together?
We absolutely have. And the amazing thing is we found that it can be just as powerful. The energy, the sharing of the energy, the sharing of the knowledge, the connection. We thought we really thought we would miss that, being able to be live. And we've pivoted and we have just made it work. And, there's good to it too. We're able to touch more people from all around the world because there's not that travel restriction. And so we've had a really good time with it. And we're all over the social, the Zoom and the.
Well, we've really made the world smaller with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good and a bad. You have to make the balance. Jacalyn is really, you really exploded where you're taking your show, I'm sure, and who you see and that kind of stuff. And as more people get the talent for it, we're still looking at desks and floors and ceilings I didn't need to do it with you, but I know I was taught on lighting. So I have had guests where I'm like, could you close the blind? Could you open the blind? Then, or if a family member walks through, because my office is actually in the dining room, they're like, oh, you need more light. No, I don't.
It is interesting after almost a year of Zooming. Like, I never heard of Zoom before the pandemic, but after all this time with people working from home, people they don't take into consideration their background.
Right.
It's right. So what are your thoughts? It's
like not brushing the back of your hair for me sometimes. It's like, nobody's going to see that. And so you realize at some point you have to walk away.
Right. So what do you both think is going to happen? I'm getting my first vaccine tomorrow. What do you think after everyone's vaccinated? Will we want to meet in person again in large groups? Will we want to be in an office space?
I don't know. We're recreating the world again. And I come from a little bit different perspective. I taught California history for 10 years. And part of that was the 1918 pandemic of the flu. And so when this all first started, I people would say, oh, what are we doing? What do you get? Oh, it'll just be a flash in the pan. And I'm thinking, have you met humanity? Did you go outside and talk to anybody? Because we don't learn. And we've had many pandemics through the history of the world. And it takes one person who doesn't care or doesn't understand. And in those days, they didn't understand a lot of how pandemics happened. In the 1800s, you've got something that started with rats because people left bread on their tables. And the rats ate it, and then the feces they didn't see, blah, blah, blah. There's just the science hadn't caught up. And so we're in a whole new trajectory of science, and everybody will learn where, they're willing to be and all that type of stuff. So I don't want to pigeonhole anybody, but I highly encourage, and Jill, I'd love to get your input on this in the manifestation world. I live every day loving getting to walk down the street and enjoying that. And sure, I can do Zoom and enjoy that also as a people person and pivoting as a speaker and enjoy that, whatever it is, 5 years, 2 years, 6 years, or 10. I hope everybody can find their joy in what they're doing and how they're doing it and be okay that it might be permanent. Because the technology has gotten so fabulous. I want to grow my clients in Europe. I want to grow my clients in Canada. I have a a client in Croatia. I have somebody in Spain and Italy and that type of stuff. And thank God, a phone call is all I need. And we already had that with the cell phones. So look at the positive instead of what you've lost and you don't have this and you don't have that. I feel like when I wear a mask, I'm showing you love. I'm showing that I care about how you're doing. It's not about, oh, I'm not contagious. Well, how would you know that? My daughter had COVID. She didn't know it. She's 20 something. She's not in the category. She's not in public, but she still got COVID. And it was scary, but she also recovered, and it was terrible and painful. The rules are out the window. Show the love you can, and I really encourage everybody, show the love you can. And I do that with animals. If they growl at you, they're trying to tell you something. I'm happy, sad, mad, or glad, or I'm terrified, and let's work on that.
Yeah, and one thing that's really amazing about what's going on is we're learning that we don't have to do everything the way we always did it.
Right.
And we're learning that we can grow our businesses globally, or there's other ways to connect with each other. I think families are getting to connect in ways they never could before because they live far apart. And they're like, wait a minute, we have this tool. And I think that people are going to be able to live their own bliss so much more easily because the world has been open to new ideas. We had to get creative. All of a sudden, we had to get creative. And some of us loved it. Some of us didn't love it so much. But we found new ways to connect and new ways of doing things. And that's just going to, when the dust settles, people are going to be able to settle more into what really makes them happy. I'm happier working from home. So I'm going to find a way to do that. Someone else that's not so much, no, I need to get out and I need to be in an office. Well, now you go do that because it's opening back up. We're free range humans again. You can go do that, but we're not all having to do it just because that's the way it was before. There's all these wonderful new ideas. And the world needs manifestation now more than ever because we need to be taught to look at the bright side of things. And as we can teach people that, they can teach more people and they can teach more people just by leading by example. And it will lift everything up to a higher, wonderful, positive vibration instead of the fear and the doom and gloom.
Jill, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and what are the services that you provide?
So there's a couple different ways. Tiffany and I, we get on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and we just love everybody up. We give lots and lots of guidance around manifestation. We have meetups, and the best way to start interacting in that world is to join us in our Facebook group, Manifesting with Purpose. There's a picture of me and Tiffany right on it. So there she is. You will see us. And then if you're thinking maybe you're resonating with me and you might like a reading, either just a regular intuitive life guidance reading or a prenatal reading, you can find me at hire, HIRE, healing.com. And that's where you can book a reading with me.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing all that information. It's been a pleasure having you as our guest. Aminah, any last words for Jill?
Yeah, please come on March 5th. That's what's coming up. I'm going to do my origin story. I'm going to answer questions. Hopefully we'll get lots of questions on how did I do this? Where did I do this? All this kind of stuff. How did I find my spirit guide? That's really fun because somebody asked me, somebody said, oh, you got to get a spirit guide. And I was like, what do you go to the library, pull it at a book, go down and buy one? So my trajectory was, because I'd never been around psychics. And so it's a huge, and I love sarcasm and silliness. That's on my Facebook page. Please join me. Animal learning, yes, but a lot of silly animal stuff because we just need to celebrate and be positive. So bridgingworlds.us. Everything about me is there. And I hope to see you guys next Friday.
Can we find you on social media?
Yep. Bridging Worlds is on Facebook, LinkedIn, And the website has all of these links. What I love is if I send you to that one, bridgingworlds.us, all you have to do is click on the links. Click on the links, click on the links, or send me a message.
That's excellent. Thank you
You
so
make
much,
sense.
Amina.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
It's been a pleasure having both of you here today. I will see you backstage, and I'll be right there as I close out the show. So thank you again.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It was a fascinating show. I hope you will reach out to Aminah or to Jill. If you didn't get their contact information, you can contact me at drjacalyn.com. There's a way to email me. And I just wanted to talk about our next guest at 5 o'clock, Jim Anders. He's the author of this book, All Drinking Aside. It's an autobiographical fiction. Well, that's a tough one. It's extremely well written, and he tells his own story of addiction to sobriety. So join us at 5 o'clock for that. And then we also have a show at 6 o'clock, which is the Variety Show. And we have my co-host, Lori Mendelson, and that's going to be a great show. So thank you again for being here. If you're interested in trying to learn more about overcoming anxiety, or if you're making a career change, please book your session with me. And if you want to be a guest on our show, it's the same link for everything, rappingwithdrjacalyn.com. So it's been wonderful. Again, have a great Friday. We'll see you next time. Bye.